Hello, I'm here again to present another lesson with you guys, and this time we'll be talking about multiple intelligences. So we will see what are these multiple intelligences and how important it is in education. So these multiple intelligences was theorized and developed by a university professor, no other than Dr. Howard Gardner. So it was developed in 1983, but until now it is being used in education because of its significance, right? So it suggests that the traditional notion of intelligence based on IQ testing is far too limited. Okay? It's too limited because in IQ testing, what is being enhanced or what is being tested is only your logical mathematical intelligence, or those who excel in math and reasoning, and those who excel in language, right? Meaning if you're not inclined into those intelligences and you get low score in IQ test, you are labeled low IQ already, right? So according to this Harvard University professor, it's far too limited because there are a lot of intelligences that must be acknowledged by different testing. Okay, so we have this nine intelligences. So he theorized these nine multiple intelligences. We have the linguistic intelligence. So what is this linguistic intelligence? This is also called the word smart, right? So those who excel in words, in language, or in poetry. Those who are writers, those who are good in writing, in speaking, even in public speaking, in communication, those people have this linguistic intelligence, right? Even teachers, you must have linguistic intelligence because we always talk, right? We always make presentation, right? Okay, so that's linguistic intelligence. What about visual spatial intelligence? So these are the people who excel in shapes, design, graphics, and visualization. So this is more of the art. So uh, the engineers, designers, architects, right? Uh, uh, Graphic designers, and so on and so forth. So these are the people who have this intelligence, visual or spatial intelligence. Okay, so they can visualize, right? Already their plans, or they see already a mental picture of what they will be doing, right? That's visual or spatial intelligence. Okay, right. So another intelligence is musical, from the word itself, musical intelligence. Those who excel in music, right? So those who perform, who sings well, who perform and compose musical pieces, like singers, musical composers. So these are the people who have this intelligence, okay? Musical intelligence. And we also have musical intelligence or music smart, right? Visual intelligence is also called picture smart. Okay. Next is interpersonal intelligence. In other term, it is called people smart. Okay, people smart from the word itself. So these are the people who have the ability to organize people, group activities, and social relationships. So people who have this intelligence can easily communicate, can easily work well with other people. They can collaborate with different people, and they have the ability to lead a group of people. Okay, so they are leaders and social workers. So you try to. It's very easy for you to understand other people because you put sometimes you put yourself to their shoe, and you try to immerse yourself in their situation. That's why how you understand the situation. Okay, right. So you understand also the other's feelings and so on and so forth. Next is intrapersonal intelligence. This is also called self-smart, right? So you have, if you have this intelligence, you have the ability to understand one's inner feelings and have self-realization. So who among you here often have self-realization? There are people who often do that right before before sleeping. Sometimes they make self-realization. What did I do today? Did I do good today? Am I good to other people? Right? Did I hurt other people? So they make realizations. Okay, why is it happening to me? What should I do? Right? Intrapersonal. Okay, so those who have this intelligence, um, I mean, these people who have this intelligence are those who are philosopher, clergy, and so on and so forth, right? So intrapersonal or self-smart. Next is logical or logical mathematical. It's logical mathematical intelligence. Okay, this one, all right? Okay, they excel in math and logical thinking. Okay, so bankers, um, accountants, mathematicians, right? Scientists. Okay, those people have this distinct, have this intelligence. Okay, logical, mathematical. Next is logical or number smart. This is number smart. This is also called number smart. Next is kinesthetic intelligence or body smart. Okay, so excels in performing sports, physical activities, and body movements. So actors, athletes, even dancers, okay, performers, they have this kind of intelligence. It's kinesthetic intelligence. And last one, nature smart or naturalistic intelligence. They love animals, plants, and nature, and understands the natural world. So if you love the nature, you have this love to animals, you understand the world, then you might be a biologist or conservationist, right? Those who work in um, environmental related professions and so on and so forth, right? So that's naturalistic intelligence or nature smart. So basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the other one, what's the other one? Naturalistic intelligence. The other intelligence is also existentialist intelligence. Okay, so existentialist from the word existence, right? You often find reasons, you often find reasons behind everything. So you often ask the existence of something. Why am I here? Why is there COVID-19 today? Why is there God? Why is there universe? Why is there only one planet which houses living things, right? So you often ask and you often find answers to those questions of existence, right? So that's the ninth one. It just added recent. It just added the past years actually. Okay, so there are 9 intelligences. All right. Okay. So verbal linguistic intelligence. These are the examples. As I mentioned, I some of these were already mentioned a while ago. So Mark Twain, Robert Frost, poets, writers, newscasters, journalists, they have verbal linguistic intelligence. Logical mathematical scientists like Einstein, people into accounting, banking, medicine, scientific research. Visual spatial intelligence. So these are the people who have this intelligence. Martin Luther King, architecture or architect, and those people who work in advertisement. And then bodily kinesthetic, dancers, dramatic acting, mime, physical education. So those who are majoring in physical education, you must have this kind of intelligence. Musical rhythmic intelligence, that Taylor Swift, music composers, music teachers, musical theater. Interpersonal, counseling, politics, sociologist, therapist. Intrapersonal intelligence, psychiatry, social, spiritual counseling, and philosopher. Naturalist, farmers, gardeners, florists, geologists, archaeologists, existential intelligence, people who reflect on the meaning of human existence. Sometimes I also do that, right? I also reflect on the existence of humans, existence of everything. right? And I'm still finding answers to those questions. I don't know to you. Probably some of you might be asking or might have asked those questions already to yourself. Okay, so Dr. Gardner says that our school and culture focus most of their attention on linguistic and mathematical intelligence. As I mentioned a while ago, these are being tested in IQ tests. So if you get a high score, then you are labeled as um, a person with high IQ, right? We esteem highly articulate or logical people of our culture. However, Dr. Gardner says that we should also place equal attention on individuals who show gifts in other intelligences. So we do not only we should not only focus on those intelligences, but we have to acknowledge and cherish as well the other intelligences. Okay, because it doesn't mean that if they're not good in math, then they are already slow learners, right? Because they might not be good in math, but they might be good in music, or they might be good in leadership, right? So that's the reason why there is this theory, multiple intelligences. So many of these kids, um, unfortunately, many children who have these gifts don't receive much reinforcement for them in school. Many of these kids, in fact, end up being labeled. This is very unfortunate. They are labeled learning disabled or ADD, deficit disorder, simply underachievers. So that happened actually before Howard Gardner theorized or developed these multiple intelligences. So they are already considered ADD. That's very unfortunate in education. So thanks to Gardner and this theory, of course, because it I mean, in today's education, it is now being applied, and other intelligences are now being catered in schools. When their unique ways of thinking and learning aren't addressed by heavily linguistic and logical mathematical classrooms. So just take a look at this picture. Okay, so this actually illustrates what I was talking about a while ago. So for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. So we have different animals here. We have penguin, we have bird, monkey, we even have elephant, fish, right? And then the other animals. So do you think the assessment is fair? Who do you think will win? Who do you think will top the exam? Right? Probably it's the monkey, right? Because or the bird can even fly straightly to the top. Okay, so this illustrates that these animals are are representations of students. I'm not saying that our students are animals, okay, but these are representations of our students because these animals have different abilities, they have different intelligences, they excel in their different fields or in their own fields, right? And so you have to address as well these differences, these different abilities of your students. Do not just assess them and cater their needs in only one assessment, okay? Because that's not fair at all. Okay, so that's this is not the significance of multiple intelligences. We are now understanding that our students have different abilities. Okay, so we do not label our students as ADD once they did not top an exam or they do not excel in one field, right? Because they might be good in other fields as well, right? So you have to always bear in mind that one. So what does it tell us then? As teachers, what should we do? Definitely, this poses a challenge to us teachers. Meaning, if we teach our students, we should not only use one strategy, we should not only use one approach, we should not only use one assessment task, okay? Because we have different, our students have different intelligences. So what we do is we have to cater those intelligences. Meaning, we have to use a variety of ways on teaching them and assessing their learning. Okay, so we have these 9 different ways. Whatever you are teaching or learning, see how you might connect it with. So, when you are teaching, you have to use words, yeah, numbers. If you can use numbers, integrate numbers or logic in your lesson, pictures, music, self-reflection, physical experience, social experience, an experience in the natural world, or self-paced or self-directed. So you integrate those things, so you can um, cater the needs of your students. So, for example, if you're teaching economics and you are now presenting your lesson about law of supply and demand, how are you going to cater all the intelligences of your students, or most of the intelligences of your students? So let's see, right? So you are going to give them a reading assignment, so that is linguistic, right? Read about it. Okay, study mathematical formulas that express it. Then you are now integrating logical or mathematical intelligence. Examine a graphic chart that illustrates the principle. That's spatial. That's chart, right? Mental picture. I mean the picture. Visual, right? Observe the law in the natural world. That's naturalist. Okay? Observe the law in the human world of commerce. That's interpersonal. Examine the law in terms of your own body. So you can also integrate um, bodily kinesthetic in here, and slash intrapersonal. So examine when you supply your body with lots of food, the hunger demands goes down because you eat, right? The less that you will feel hungry. When there's very little supply, your stomach's demand for food goes way up because you will feel hungry and you get hungry. Yeah, and you get hungry. Okay, so law of supply and demand as applied in bodily kinesthetic intelligence. So see, you can also do that. It's just a matter again of creativity of the teacher. Write a song that demonstrates the law. That's musical. Okay. Mm, okay. It does not mean, however, that in every lesson you need to enhance those. You need to have 9 strategies in teaching to cater all the intelligences of your student. Doesn't mean like that, because that's too laborious as well. So probably you can for today you might wanna integrate 4 intelligences. The other day you could integrate as well the other intelligences, and so on and so forth. So what I'm telling here is, do not only focus on few intelligence. You cater all, even not in a day, in one lesson, but as you teach your students, yeah, you have to really enhance those intelligences. Okay, right. So I'm in the classroom activity, frequently activate and utilize. You can do this one, more than one of the intelligences. Group discussion, in high school, elementary, and college, we often do that. Okay, so if you group your students, definitely they will be collaborating with one another. Verbal linguistic, because they need to interact with one another. Interpersonal, because someone has to be a leader and the members must have to be cooperative with their um, members. Okay, and then journal writing, intrapersonal, because you can write reflections, yeah, journals rather, and then so on and so forth. Verbal linguistic, because that's in writing. What else? Choreography, verbal intelligence, musical, rhythmic, interpersonal. Constructing timelines, logical, mathematical, and visual, spatial. Putting on a play, okay? Music, rhythmic, verbal linguistic, interpersonal, and visual, spatial. So these are just some of the activities that you might want to use inside your classroom. But of course, there are a lot of different activities, and you can even create your own activity and name your own activity that will surely enhance the intelligences of our students. Okay, making a video, writing a report or essay, making graphs, designing posters, communicating with peers or experts online, hands-on experimentation, composing a song, building a model or 3D displays. Okay? So there are a lot more. Okay? So that's it. So those are the multiple intelligences developed by who? Dr. Howard Gardner. So we have 9 multiple intelligences. We have linguistic intelligence, interpersonal, intrapersonal, visual spatial, what else? Naturalistic, what else? Um, Kinesthetic, right? What else? Existentialist. What else did I not mention? Spatial intelligence. What else? And musical, right? So there are 9 intelligences developed by Howard Gardner, and it we might have um, an intelligence which is prevalent in us, okay? But each of us might have 2 or 3 or 4 or more intelligences, okay? You remember that one. We do not only possess one intelligence, we might possess 2, 3, 4, or even more intelligences, all right? Okay, and with this knowledge, it is easier now for us to provide the needs of our students. Having this knowledge will make us realize the and plan for activities and approaches that we are going to use in teaching and catering the needs of our students. Okay, so multiple intelligences assessment. So for MI assessment, it means that we have to use different approaches already, different assessment tasks to cater the needs of our students. So it's not only paper and pencil tests. Okay, we can use other authentic assessments so that the other intelligences will also be catered. So there's no best way to use multiple in testing and assessment, definitely, because we have to use various ways. There again, there's no best way to assess the student because we have um, to use variety of testing and assessment to really cater all of their needs. That's the same true with the strategies. There's no best strategy. It depends on the learners, and there's no best strategy to cater all the intelligences of the learners because we have to use variety of ways to teach our students. Okay, and that's it. Thank you so much, and I hope you've learned something about this lesson. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.